And whether you're watching with our friends over at TorahAnytime or wherever you watch your podcast, oh my gosh, I think we have our friends from TorahAnytime right here. Now, you know, we've done 170 of these, I think, give or take.
Oh.
It's the 3.5 years, yeah? And I always start with whether you're watching with our friends over at TorahAnytime, and people are always wondering, who are your friends over at TorahAnytime? And I only have one. So I say friends like we say B'nai Dun when B'nai Dun when there was only one. You shouldn't say Ben Dun, you say B'nai. So our friends over at TorahAnytime, we are so excited to have you. Tremendous Mesiras Nefesh. You drove all the way down from Muncie. We are in beautiful downtown Flatbush. And there are hundreds and hundreds of people circling the block looking for parking.
Yeah, I was one of them.
The only people who are here are people who walked. So, and that walk from Muncie's a killer. So I can tell you.
And before that, Connecticut.
Connecticut, yeah, we were in the Project Inspire convention this past weekend. And
That's amazing.
that's why I lost my voice, because I was screaming at one of the other panelists. One time, one of my kids did something that was like really over the top, and I was screaming at them. And whenever I scream, I lose my voice. It's just a natural. So I was screaming at my kid, and then I had to go give a shiur. My voice was like this, maybe a little worse. On chinuch banim. I said, I lost my voice practicing for the shiur. Okay, so introduce yourself to the world. No, I'm not saying that to be coy. I can't pronounce your last name.
That's funny. So thank you.
Well, that's sort of what we do here.
Thank you, Rabbi. First of all, thank you for inviting me. This is very exciting.
Listen, you're one of the greats. One of the greats of our generation.
It is a tremendous zechut to have you since almost day one, 17 years ago, on TorahAnytime. And for everyone out there, my name is Shimon Kolyakov, and my brother Ruben and I, Baruch Hashem, are the founders of TorahAnytime. And just excited to be here. And yeah, we just came back from an incredible Project Inspire Shabbaton, and I never saw such a lineup like that.
It was ridiculous.
For my YY Jacobson and yourself, of course. And
Yosef Mendelovich. I don't know how many of you remember Yosef Mendelovich. When I was a kid in high school, we were protesting outside of the consulate, the Russian consulate in Glen Cove. We used to go down there, 2, 4, 6, 8, let our people emigrate. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, open up the iron door. And we were like, let our people go. Yeah, we were chanting and screaming. And Yosef Mendelovich was like the refusnik. And he was at Project Inspire. I think he got 20 minutes. So
it's on TorahAnytime. His talk is on TorahAnytime, and many of the lectures from Project Inspire, and not just that convention, but we were invited to many conventions.
Where'd you get this idea from? Because this is unbelievable. How many shiurim, if you had to guesstimate, are on TorahAnytime?
So Baruch Hashem, there's over 170,000 shiurim
170,000.
on TorahAnytime. Yeah.
Okay, that'll last me 1 week, but what do I do the next one?
Every week we're averaging between 600 to 700 shiurim going up.
Every week?
Yeah, from all over the world, in many languages.
Now, you told me once there's a waiting list of rabbis to get on.
It's complicated. It's not just a waiting list. There's over 1,100 people trying to get on right now. And every week it goes up by another 5 to 10 people. And
trying to get on
it's
to
a
TorahAnytime.
big responsibility. Today everyone has something to say, and give someone a mic.
And yet you put me on.
We don't know what we were thinking now. Yeah, no, it was the greatest thing, Baruch Hashem. And there were times where you gave a more often shiurim, then you stopped for a while, back and forth. But we're just happy that you have this show, this incredible
It's unbelievable.
Rabbi Orlofsky show.
I got into trouble when I first started because I said it's a show, it's not a shiur. So someone said, then why are you on TorahAnytime? You should be on Show Anytime. Right. I said, take it up with them. I'm not involved.
We'll get there probably eventually.
Eventually
they'll come after you.
Wow. So So 170,000 shiurim with hundreds going up every single week.
Right.
So what's involved to put up a shiur? I mean, you don't just take it and plug it in.
Right. I mean, it's a whole operation. Baruch Hashem has sent us incredible, dedicated people, because this can't be a job for anybody. This has to be your passion, your life, because there's no hours to this. There's a lot of technical issues. There's a lot of editing. There's logistics of getting the shiur right, running
Where's
around.
your storage? How do you store that much information?
We rent servers. Many people don't realize we pay for every click. We pay for every download. We pay for every phone call to our hotline.
Well, 1 second. People listen to the shiurim and you pay for it?
Of course.
Wow.
It's like in certain tiers. You can have X amount of people on your website at the same time before it gets to slow down and becomes unusable. So you have to go to the next level. And when that fills up, you have to go to the next tier and to the next tier. And it's very expensive. And then you have the highways. How many people could get on and download at the same time before things really slow down? So Baruch Hashem, this is what we do. But many people think that we're just a website. But over the years, we started as a website. But over the years, we have an app now as well, which we've been working on for the past 2.5 years. Almost $1 million was invested on the new website and app, but the website isn't ready yet. It's about 5 to 6 months away. It's going to be an absolute revolutionary, game-changer website. But the app did come out about 5 months ago.
But what I'm surprised is many times I go on and I'm not on the front page. And a lot of people have asked about that. I'm speaking for the public.
Okay.
Number one guy on TorahAnytime. Most listened to.
You're not going to,
I know it's not me.
This is, you're up there, but
Yeah.
it happens to
You're
be.
number 247, actually.
You're top 10, Baruch Hashem. But it happens to be very interesting. It's not an English-speaking
it's
rabbi.
Rabbi Malach, right?
It's Rabbi Malach. He's a Yiddish-speaking rabbi, a very, very incredible, very talented, and we have a massive Hasidic community who use TorahAnytime, and he happens to get tens of thousands of views per shiur.
I was once at Kechav Tuni.
I remember
If you
that.
ever saw the ad, there's like 50 Streimels and me. And
That's exactly it.
it's like, find Waldo, you know what I mean? So I was obviously standing out, but he did the closing. Now, I don't speak Yiddish because my parents kept it as their secret language. And I went to yeshivas where they either touched into English or into, Hebrew, but I never learned Yiddish, And used to have those people who start talking to me in Yiddish. I said, I don't speak Yiddish. You don't speak Jewish? You're
Right.
Jewish and you don't speak Jewish, So I go there and I was on a panel with this Dayan. And I would answer a question in English, and then he would just go on in Yiddish. You know what I mean? And everybody was like laughing and pointing at me. So I don't know what was happening exactly. I was feeling a little uncomfortable, to tell you the truth. But at the end, Malach got up. I don't speak Yiddish, and I was laughing. He just has such a presentation. Okay, so that's the first guy.
He's actually the Rabbi Orlofsky version in Yiddish.
Well, you should know that I met somebody many years ago, and they said, David Orlofsky, are you the speaker? So I said, yeah. The funny one? I said, yeah. The one who speaks in Yiddish? I said, no. Yeah, Yiddish. I said, no, because there's a Ger Chassid called David Orlofsky, who's a speaker. Someone told me he was just nifta, but who would speak humorously in Yiddish. So that's when I realized that David Orlofsky is a position. There's a French David Orlofsky and a Spanish one. He's the Yiddish David Orlofsky. I'm the English one. My real name is Sam Schwartz. But anyway, I just have taken on the position. So it's like, anyway. So where does it go from here? I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, you revolutionized Torah learning.
Baruch Hashem.
I got to tell you a story. I was at a hotel for Sukkot, for Shabbos. And I was there with another Rav who was very, very impressed with himself. And we agreed on one thing and we disagreed on one thing. We both agreed that he had a lot of worthwhile things to say. We disagreed whether or not I did. So every time he spoke, he would schmutz me and put me down and insult me, But I always got a kick out of Bali Gaiva, So at one point, so the last question, we were like out of time, the last question. So a woman says, is it okay that I watch shiurim on TorahAnytime on my phone? I said, for the Rav. The internet is also, TorahAnytime is also, computers also. I don't have a computer in my house, I don't have electricity, I don't have a landline, like I go to the well to pump the water, I don't have anything, nothing. Also, he went on for like 15 minutes. Also, everything's also. And then I said, okay, we're out of time, but if anyone's interested, I have a share on the topic on TorahAnytime that you can listen to. So.
That's pretty funny.
Do you get feedback from this?
We do. And we don't promote the use of the internet.
You can call up.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I found that out. I was in Lakewood.
Recently? You found out?
Yeah, I didn't know. Because someone says to me, I said, I try to, count the views. He goes, well, we don't view. A lot of people here call up on the telephone.
Right.
I was like, you don't need to use the internet? He goes, no, I don't want to waste my minutes.
The data.
My data,
right. So Baruch Hashem, like I mentioned, we have the website, we have the app, and not now, but already for the past few years, we have a hotline. And this hotline became very, very popular. 2021, we got 2.4 million calls.
Wow.
Just on the hotline, nothing to do with the app or the website. And for the last 3 months of last year, we were averaging around 200,000 minutes a day of people just dialing in.
Calling up.
Yeah, just calling in.
Asking what kind of questions?
No. It's all the shiurim. They listen to the shiurim. All the shiurim that are on TorahAnytime.
They're asking questions on the shiurim?
No, Rabbi, come on.
Sorry about
all
that.
All the shiurim that are on TorahAnytime
170,000
are and growing are available by people simply dialing into the hotline, so they could just listen through a regular phone. That's the hotline. And that's been a tremendous success. We're in the middle We've been in the middle of a major migration to another company that's going to give it a lot more features and easier to find what you're looking for on the hotline. So, I don't know your extension number on it. I have to find out, but you also have your own extension number.
I assume it's 666 because the sign of the devil.
I don't think so, but
anyway.
Baruch Hashem, yeah. So that's doing phenomenal. Yeah. So there's many ways that we spread Torah, Baruch Hashem. And there's many more ways that are coming up. We have this daily dose, which is we started about 3 years ago. We understand that people's attention span is very, very low these days and only getting worse. So we take the best speakers of the world, 2-3 minutes, the most powerful concepts with a very emotional music. We have a very talented musician who many times plays custom music for these clips. And it goes out to over 40,000 people right now and growing.
A minute is not going to work for some speakers.
2-3 minutes.
Because like Rabbi Wine, that's how long it takes him to open up the story. As I was growing up in Chicago.
We have double speed on TorahAnytime.
I remember. If you want to hear more about this year, please go directly to TorahAnytime.
Right. Yeah, and one of the features of the new app is that speed control. So for people who talk fast, like
Pesach Kron.
Rav Gav, I think, is a fast talker. You could slow down.
Rav Gav is not as fast as Pesach Kron. Pesach Kron just is, forget about it.
Oh, sure.
Well, when you listen to him afterwards, you are physically exhausted. You're like, you just went on a roller coaster. And I want to tell you the most unbelievable story. Let me tell you the story. And I think he's in the room. Is he in the room over here? Unbelievable. There he is. Turn on the house lights. He's right over there with that and with that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. The only one who's worse than him is Eitan Feiner. Do you ever listen to Eitan?
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's energy.
I spoke at the White Shul once. Wow. He introduces me for 3 minutes. And I want to tell him this idea, and it's a Marashah in 3 places. HaKodesh, it's also Yerushalmi over there. Anyway, he went on like this for 3 minutes. And I get up to speak, and I say, you just heard more sources in that introduction than you're going to hear in my whole share. So just telling you that. But I got many more funny stories. So, everything's a trade-off. So you can slow down Pesach Kron, you can speed up Rabbi Wine.
Right. So that's one of the features. But with the daily dose, we're already up to almost 1,200 doses. They go out every day. And many people are saying, hey, I just started recently getting the dose. How do I get all the past doses? So Baruch Hashem, about 3 weeks ago, we launched the Daily Dose app. Which,
if you go to Eretz Yisrael, there's a lot of dosim.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay.
That's what they call the Haredim. They call them dosim. Instead of datiyim, they call them dosim. Anyway.
Okay. So
moving along.
So someone once asked us, can we overdose? I said,
overdose.
I don't want to get into that. I said, it's a sensitive subject with some people, but I would say on this case, maybe, it's okay.
Wow.
Watch a lot of doses. But Baruch Hashem, so yeah, anyone out there watching, make sure you get the 2 new apps in the App Store, the TorahAnytime app, okay? And those of you that are here, I give you permission, do it right now, take out your phones. You don't hear that in the shul too often.
No, especially because nobody here has a smartphone because we believe the internet is awesome.
Right. And get the Daily Dose app as well. Of course, everyone watching on TorahAnytime or wherever you're watching this, right? Is that?
Well, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants you to download that app because the Lord apps those that app themselves.
If you have a smartphone and you don't have this app, this is going to be a question after 120 years. So make sure you don't put yourself in that situation.
Right.
Get the TorahAnytime app. Very, very important.
100%. And you put down your other phone and pick up your smartphone to download the app.
Right.
You know, I know you have the phone that you use to get your kids into school. Then you have the other phone.
Yeah, that's common.
Gewaldic. So, guesstimate, how many hours of people watching these 170,000 videos, I'm not counting all the dosim and everything like that, altogether, how many hours of Torah learning has TorahAnytime created? If you had to guess.
So, very conservative number for the last 2 years has been well over 10 million hours per year.
10 million hours of Limud Torah. Now, to put that into perspective, every word of Torah equals 613 mitzvos. So when we talk about bringing Mashiach, when we talk about the mitzvahs that we need to accomplish, 10 million hours of, and how many words go in an hour? So
That's who's speaking.
depends who's speaking. So, you know.
And you could double speed it.
And you can double speed
No,
it, so you
it's
get even
a
more.
huge number.
20 million hours. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So we hit 1 million users during the lockdown.
Yes.
That lockdown, I mean, so many people were just living off TorahAnytime.
Right.
And even just at this convention we were at, it just didn't stop. People just came over to us, like with tears in their eyes, just say, thank you so much. We live on TorahAnytime. I sleep with TorahAnytime. I cook with TorahAnytime. I drive with TorahAnytime. And to get that chizuk, it's just incredible because there's so much work involved and, you know, there's ups and downs and challenges.
And it's the kind of thing where somebody would be for sure doing something else
Oh,
rather
yeah.
than learning Torah.
So many people have told us that they got off the radio. They got off, you know, Netflix. They tell us they get off YouTube. And now they're on TorahAnytime. We even get mail from people saying that they got rid of their smartphone because of Shirim on TorahAnytime.
Right.
And now they dial in on a hotline. So, you know, it's wonderful. And then nothing makes us happier than someone doing whatever they can to get closer to Hashem and improving as a person.
This girl said to her friend, I haven't seen you around, you know, on social media. She says, I got rid of my Instagram. I got rid of my TikTok. I got rid of my Facebook. I got rid of my email. You know, I don't have any social media, any contact. Says, then what do you do? She says, now I have a life. She says, can I use it in Candy Crush? Anyway, that's a joke, by the way.
Right. Or you could pay $1.99 and buy a life.
That is so sick. Could you imagine spending money to get a life to play for? Gosh, it's crazy. You know how much I've spent? No, I'm just kidding. But anyway.
If you watch a commercial, they give you credit or something. Crazy.
Anyway, so.
But a lot of things are happening. We also have a platform that is not too popular. We just did a test run this past year called TorahAnytime. This is very, very fascinating.
Yeah.
So it's a WhatsApp status. It's not a group or a broadcast. And people that need a chesed done to them anywhere in the world, they post it. We have a moderator. And people check it to see if they could do that chesed. And for the past year, throughout every week, there's dozens and dozens of cheseds that are connected and being done. And Baruch Hashem, now we're creating an app called TorahAnytime, where anyone, anywhere in the world, needs something done, whether it's, you know, you need some people together to dance at a simcha where there's not enough people, or something needs to, some medical situation, or whatever it is.
Or to move bookcases?
Yeah, we've got weird things like that as well. You know, it's very interesting, the things that people type in. But TorahAnytime, it's a project we're working on, which we're very excited about. We're also coming out with our first book, The Daily Dose, Volume 1.
Wow.
We're taking we have a very talented writer, Elon Perchik, who's taking these doses, putting it into a very emotional written format. And this is a very unique book because at the end of every dose, there's going to be a QR code where you can just take out your phone and scan it. It'll take you to either to the dose on video or the full shear where that dose came from. So absolutely incredible. So there's many other things which I can't really mention right now. They're like underground secret information things we're working on, which is really going to be revolutionary. We got to bring Mashiach if he's not here yet.
Narcotics anytime.
Oh boy.
That's only to raise funds. Anyway.
So a lot of projects coming up.
I want to thank our friends in Colombia.
And anyone out there in Colombia who wants to sponsor or...
Hey, you know how many countries are watching TorahAnytime? Can you track the countries?
More countries than I knew existed, actually. Over 180 countries use TorahAnytime.
180 countries?
Yes, and
how is that even possible?
I don't know.
Mozambique.
Yeah, we have people who became Jewish, and they said their journey started accidentally by watching a shiur that came up on Google from TorahAnytime.
I've gotten some emails from people who are Christian who listen to the Rabbi Orlofsky show.
Oh, wow.
And they were so affected, now they're Muslim. Well, you got to do something with your time.
So, yeah.
180 countries, that's impossible. It's impossible. You have the list?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have it on me, but hold on.
No, okay. I would love to get a copy.
We get pictures from classrooms of sometimes, I don't know what the curriculum is, but we get pictures from the back of the class where they're showing TorahAnytime.
Well, it's a no-brainer because you can bring the top speakers of the Torah world into a classroom that these schools couldn't possibly, get that kind of talent available for the children.
Right. So we're working on other things. I want to say it so badly, but I can't because it's very big stuff, is that the Shem. And anyone out there watching or listening who maybe wants to partner with us financially, just email me, Shimon@TorahAnytime, and let's just have a conversation to see if you could be part of the largest distribution of Torah in the history of the world.
No, Shimon can't tell you, but he's working on the TorahAnytime chip to be inserted in your brain. So all you have to do is think of the shiur and just go. Anyway.
The whole shiur is in 1 second.
Isn't it? Anyway.
It's not a bad idea.
See that? Oh, I thought that was the new idea. Okay, it's coming up.
No, but big things are happening because, the technology with social media, you got to fight fire with fire.
It's the only way. It's the only way.
It's here to stay. And we just have to be realistic.
I get letters from people who say to me, my kids listen to your shiurim, and it's the only way I can get them away from the other stuff that they're watching because they say that you're more entertaining than the stuff that they're watching. And I think that's what Torah has to be. It has to be, tzatzuim. It's got to be more fun, for everybody to be able to enjoy it.
We have a kids section too, TorahAnytime.com/kids. We have some incredible speakers that is just for that younger crowd. So
yeah.
So we have that as well. We have a lot of women speakers as well. So, ladies, if you could check that out as well. And there's a lot of, and the beauty of the daily dose is that you might get 2-3 minutes of someone you never heard of, but this way you could get introduced to them. If you like them, you could follow them and listen to their full shiur every single week. So there's a lot to do. We have a newsletter as well called the TorahAnytime.
I was in it.
Yeah, Jordan, yes.
Yes, I was.
Yes, the TorahAnytime. And that goes out.
Get it? TorahAnytime.
That's okay. We're going to rebrand it. At some point soon.
Yeah,
but
didn't get much applause, but okay, what are you going to do?
Right. And
TorahAnytime.
TorahAnytime.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
You.
Thank you.
But people print it and they put it on their shuls all over the world.
Right.
We have people from the UK, from Australia, from Canada, that they just print these newsletters because they want TorahAnytime on Shabbos and Yom Tov, and so they have it.
Right.
So Baruch Hashem, 24/7.
Can you set your computer on a Shabbos clock to watch it? Let's see if I can get you into trouble.
I'm still trying to figure out how we can record on Shabbos.
Yeah, right.
That's when the speakers have full freedom.
That's right.
Say what they got to say.
I know a couple of speakers they have a rule that they say anything, you have to turn off all the recordings and things like that. I wish I had done that a couple of times because I've gotten beaten up a few times. Sometimes people find me controversial.
Oh,
no, I'm serious.
I think I remember that there was something.
Here and there.
Yeah. It's a good sign.
The only time I was invited to the Aguda convention, I said to them, I said, aren't you worried I'm going to say something controversial? So they said, we discussed that. So we're going to give you the women's shal shudis because none of the gedolim come to that. And we're going to give you the closing because they all leave Motzi Shabbos. I said, I was kidding. I didn't realize there was an actual meeting in the Aguda. How can we invite Orlofsky and minimize the damage? Anyway, I remember that was about 10 years ago. I've never been invited back. But anyway, so...
There's a lot of controversial stuff right now, going on, so...
What's that? Can you filter the stuff? I mean, how do you know if... Do you ever get into trouble when it comes out
we
that
get
you
emails.
Sent out something
We get emails
that was...
with red flags of certain situations. It's very complicated when
It's
you
going to happen. You get so many speakers, there's no way to possibly vet everybody,
Right.
And people can say things that are beyond the pale without even realizing it.
We hear it. We have a lot of people, people watching, and then you get hashkafa involved, and you have different types of speakers and different types of backgrounds, and stuff goes on in the background. But Baruch Hashem, overall, it's okay. But it's a little bit complicated. You try to find that lowest common denominator,
Right.
To make everyone
And
happy,
also
which is impossible.
A speaker speaks differently if you're speaking to a frum crowd or a non-frum crowd. So if a frum person's listening to a non-frum, speaker, he could find some of the things offensive.
Right. And
You put a label on it?
Not really. But you just reminded me of a project which I could talk about, which we're very excited about. It's coming out soon. It's not a secret that, unfortunately, the majority of Jews in the world are not really affiliated. They don't really know much about Judaism. Maybe.
What do you have time to come up with all these ideas? You're so busy putting up hundreds of shiurim.
Baruch Hashem, we have an incredible team, but...
What's your full staff? How many with volunteers and everything?
No, full-time employees, maybe around 11 right now, and maybe dozens of volunteers all around the world. But now
Mozambique.
Huh?
Nothing. It's just...
Wait, so let me tell you. So we're making a platform. It's called TorahAnytime. It's for anyone at any level. It's going to be designed for not yet religious Jews, not affiliated Jews, for the extreme beginner. And there's going to be very curated content, and that's going to be coming out soon. Because if you take a person who doesn't even know anything about anything,
Right.
put them on TorahAnytime, it could be counterproductive.
Right.
It's the wrong person,
For the wrong
So
forum.
this is a safe zone for someone who's not.
Look,
not
you got
affiliated.
some people there who are like deep Kabbalistic thinkers.
Right.
If they end up in the children's section,
Right.
Hey kids, let's talk about Simsum. Simsum is like Kosh Baruch Hu contracting to allow the world to exist. Anyway, so
So that's TorahAnyone. So that's going to be coming out. So all these Baruch Hashem platforms, and again, there's many other things as well that we're working on, and we just feel like obsessed with what we do. We're just possessed and to keep going.
unbelievable.
And Hashem should continue to give us strength, but we're not satisfied.
Amen.
We feel like we're just getting started. 1 million users, 10 million hours a year is not enough.
Yeah.
It's we feel like this is just the tip of the iceberg.
I can honestly say I'm exhausted just from this conversation. So I think I'm going to go lie down. So now you drove from Connecticut to Muncie. You drove from Muncie to Flatbush. You're driving back to Muncie.
Yeah, you got to get some rest.
No, it's good. Where else do you have time to dream up all these crazy ideas to, spend millions of dollars to get millions of hours of things?
I listened to 3 shiurim on the way here, so we found a whole bunch of doses for the next upcoming weeks. So, it's our life, So Baruch
Gewaldig.
Hashem. Yeah, so just a big shout out to my brother Ruben, Yosef Davis, Moshe Sofer, Mayor Summers, the entire team, all the volunteers, all the users, all the supporters, all the donors, all the fans. You guys have been amazing, and B'ezrat Hashem, the best is yet to come.
So, on the one hand, I wanted to use this opportunity to be able to let everyone know about the wonderful work of TorahAnytime. And then also, I figure that now that they're starring in the podcast, they have to put this on the front page so that everyone gets to see
Very
it.
smart. I love it. You got it.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and by the way, many times people ask us, how did you guys start TorahAnytime? My brother and I were 2 public school kids coming from a communist country. A few months ago, Art Scroll interviewed us, and we went through that whole incredible, inspiring story in detail. So if you go on my name, Shimon Kolyakov, that's my name, by the way. Is that the first time I mentioned it, just in case you were wondering?
Kolyakov?
Yeah.
Because it looks like Kolyakov because there's an eye in there and stuff.
Kolyakov, Baruch Hashem. Hashem gave us a hint what we're going to be doing in our life. Yeah, we're Bukharian. I'm from a city called Tashkent in Uzbekistan. My wife is from Samarkand.
I used to vacation there.
I don't think so.
Right after Mozambique.
But yeah, so that's the Art Scroll interview is under my page as well. And also for Parnassa, I'm a distributor for a company called Kangen Water. And that's also under my page, Shimon Kolyakov. Or if you want to go to WaterMS, E-M-E-S, waterms.com. Very fascinating information about water. If you're into health in any way at all, you definitely want to look into that.
You could also open a travel agency called Torah Anyplace.
Okay, that's
Think about it. Think about it. I'm not even going to charge you for that. What do you think? It's yours.
I so wish I could say more, but really good things are happening.
Listen, we'll have you back.
Yes, thank you.
Because, by the way, this is the first Rabbi Orlofsky show live in history. And I plan to expand this so that this is in Flatbush, maybe we'll do it in Lakewood, we'll do it in the 5 towns, and I have an entrance into Mozambique. I don't want to go into it now. That's why I'm starting to slowly lay the seeds, because it turns out we've got a big audience there, you know? And most people don't even know about it. Then, after that, Tashkent.
Oh, I don't think you want to go there right now. But also, just a big shout out to Rabbi Koftal. He's also one of our partners from Mishkan Yecheskel. Yeah, we joined forces about 8 years ago, and that really helped take us to other levels as well.
Do you have some kind of official relationship with Chazak also?
Chazak, we're 2 separate organizations, but it's interesting. We're both started by 2 Bukharian brothers, the Merov brothers of Chazak. And
both with names that are very hard to pronounce.
Kolyakov, really?
No.
Merov.
No, it's like...
Just
what's wrong with
Orlofsky.
Orlofsky.
Add the OV and you're Bukharian automatically.
Orlofsky, gosh.
You know, we're both started in 2006 from the same shul in Beit Gavriel community in Queens.
Right.
I think you spoke there a few times.
That's right.
Wonderful. Packed
That's
house.
why I always thought there was some kind of official relationship.
Right. So 2 Bukharian brothers, same year, same shul. So incredible things are happening. Baruch Hashem.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, they're doing great, by the way. They helped over 1,000 kids get out of public school into yeshiva.
Yeah.
And that's what Chazak is doing. So big shout out to Chazak.
Beautiful. All right. So
Thank
I
you.
feel
Thank
bad.
you.
I don't want to kill you.
No,
No,
thank you.
please. The privilege for us. That's one of the great things of why I'm thinking of doing this is that I have a chance to be able to interview people in America that I wouldn't normally have a chance. You know, I have considered, I don't like Zoom. I can't communicate in Zoom. And
Me
I've
neither.
considered sending people tickets to come to Israel to the Rabbi Orlofsky show studios. And then I said, are you out of your mind? Where am I getting money for that? But anyhow.
They're lifting the vaccine
So-
ban, so it'll be easier.
Yeah, no problem. If they make their way, you know, to, then I can like accost them on the street and quickly throw up a bookcase and, you know, but it's so hard carrying that bookcase around, you know. So anyway, thank you so much for coming. A privilege.